Number 1 Iron Age Booty Daddy.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Iron Age Nights. What's going on, everybody? Oh, it's a good night. Oh, it's a good night. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Friday, another Iron Age Nights, but never another Iron Age Nights number 43, featuring Timo Burnham. Oh my God. Oh crap, did I just introduce the guest? Oh, I'm supposed to do that later, ladies and gentlemen. You think I would learn? Oh well, it's been a fun evening. It's been a fun evening so far. I was brought into a Twitter dumpster fire. That was awesome. However, that's going to lead to something on Tuesday night, so hopefully you guys are here for that. That's going to be great. I just want to promo that in the front of the... It's going to be fun. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Iron Age Nights, the live stream where we decide to introduce you to a fantastic new author or new creator or new tabletop guy, but somebody that probably shares your values. And if you decide to send your money to them to buy their books, even though you may not like the book, you may still know that your dollars are going to somebody who doesn't hate you and isn't some of the mainstream shills out there. So that's absolutely fantastic. Let's introduce the absolutely fantastic chat, because we would not be here without the fantastic chats, the fantastic chat or the reception that we have had since we started this show over on Rumble. That's right, we are live on Rumble as well. We've got Lieutenant Bob. What's going on, man? And Betty Adams, they're already over there talking it up, having some version of a conversation about wet socks. I'm not sure. But we're gonna leave Rumble. Rumble's a strange place. Let's go over here. Oh, right, Chatsu just jumped in. He's going to be lurking this evening. Over here on YouTube, we've got R.H. Snow. How are you doing? Timo Burnham. Timo, you're double dipping, sir.
Always.
You're Timo. You're Redoubt Productions. How are you doing? Gino, what's going on? That's Lieutenant Bob, formerly King Bob, but you know he doesn't like it. Heavily Music. How are you doing, man? 10 Cage. What's going on? Matt McCarthy 4, how are you doing, man? TSBOL, what's going on? T Alex Ratcliffe, it's fantastic to see you down in the chat. Oh good lord, you guys are having conversations. Betty Adams, how are you? You're double dipping. That's okay, it's like Chicago on this channel. Go to all of the places and double dip as much as you want. I'm down. Evely Music. I said hello to Evely Music. Oh, Periopsis. Press Katie. Hello. How are you doing? Horizon Talker. What's going on? Silent Unseen. How are you doing? Rose, my wife down in the chat already giving me crap. Raving Dad Gaming, Brian McCoppin, what is going on? Anthony Rondinelli, how are you doing? TJ Marquis, what's going on, man? TJ. Oh, good Lord. Stormcrow, it's a Stormcrow. And Tank Ferret, oh God, the chat jumped. Why would you do that to me? Tank Ferret, how are you doing? Squishy Banana Productions, what's going on, man? That is a new name to the chat. Thank you so much for being here. And Griffin's Library, what's going on? And then we just got a $10 super chat from TSBOL over on YouTube. He says, in the editing trenches so I can stay long, so I can't stay long. I just wanted to shout out Lord Otter and Black Knight, who both have some great stuff coming soon. Hail Iron Age. Yes. Awesome, man. Dude. Yeah, that's such awesome freaking guys, man. I happen to do a tabletop RPG with them set in the Star Shatter universe on some Saturdays a month. We're terrible at scheduling, but if you guys pay close attention to this channel, you can come and hang out with us while we do that, because Black Knight's my DM and Lord Otter is my 15-foot tall Asgardian biker. So that's always a fun time. Ladies and gentlemen, the man who seems to never sleep because he has yet another anvil that he has to pour into the forge. Richard, how are you doing, good sir?
Well, actually, it's funny you say that, because I slept quite a bit this week.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow, so you call me a liar just like straight off the bat. Yeah, thanks. No, that's great. I appreciate it. That's awesome.
Yeah, I slept almost all of Tuesday because I managed to have some kind of summer flu this week.
Oh, so I know a bunch of people that are getting something.
Yeah, I don't know. It's the new thing. I didn't want to miss out.
Plague.
Yeah, my wife came down with it, so I decided I might as well go ahead and get in on the excitement.
Right. Yeah. Well,
waste almost an entire
you
week.
have to support your wife as a husband,
exactly.
So
and then get sick immediately after her.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, but it's been good. I'm still like, trying to catch up on things. I, both with the day job and with some Anvil prep, and we're getting the second issue rolling. I need to figure out some quotes and whatnot, finalize some stuff with the next printer. And I'm happy to report
not the same printer that you had all the problems with.
Yeah, no, but the same printer. I will give them this, that even though they had a number of issues, they have worked very hard to, at minimum, make sure that I did in fact get a correct number of acceptable copies. So they went through some effort to try and
So what you're saying is second chances are always
probably
a good
no
thing
second
for the
chances
owner.
from me. Just probably will. I will probably temper some of my more acerbic comments that I was planning on making.
Big words on this channel. Yes, I love big words.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Me not be so mean.
You son of a bitch.
Nice.
Sorry, man.
Made me think well played.
All right. Raving Dead Gaming for $2 says comic book idea, 50 cal ferret. I might be down for that, depending on who writes it. Also, for $20, that was a $2 super chat from Raving Dead Gaming for $20, which $20 gets the applause button because it's 20 seconds long and it's far too long, and that's my rationale from T. Alex Ratcliffe. Tater Mash Vodka-like spirits would like to assure you all of the high quality of Timo's latest book. Yesterday was a mistake. Today can be too with Tater Mash. Oh God. Oh no, not vodka. No, vodka's always a mistake. Oh, I've been there. It's not a good thing the next day. It's not. I don't do well on the vodkas.
Drink whiskey like a true G.
I drink beer because I don't need
Or
to get
beer, I guess.
Yeah. All right. For the guy who apparently is too good for beer, the guy is too good for shilling. But you know what he's not too good for? He's not too good that he won't help you out and help you bring that story that's in your mind to the page and give you a way to work through your struggles and troubles as you try to put your next fantastic story on the page. That's right. It is Daniel P. Riley. Good sir, how are you doing? How was your week?
I'm doing great. It's been a long week, though. Working hard on a lot of projects. I ended up accepting one extra one that I've been working pretty diligently on, and unfortunately put off fulfilling some work for Richard to do. So he's going to have to put my hands in a vice at some point.
Kinky. Richard's just like, I'm not doing this tonight.
Well, you also have the
You had
benefit of
that
the fact that I'm
so
like
over your
constantly
shit.
coughing over here, so I'm going to be muted like three.
Dude, if you're
of this
gonna
show.
if you're gonna die, hang out as long as you can, and then just go to bed and
yeah,
get
I should say that I actually am probably going to start my new schedule of bouncing at like 9:30, just because I am already kind of tired and whatnot. But yeah,
for sure.
That's going to be the thing, because in the future, I don't think I'm going to do it tomorrow. I was planning on starting tomorrow, but in the future, I'm going to be having some early morning meetings on Saturdays to get cracking on a project that I hope everybody will be really excited about in the near future.
Do I know about
What we
this?
talked about, right?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. If not, I'll talk to you about it. But
The hell is that? No, maybe. No, for sure. Dude, those aren't even words that go together. Sure, you know, it's fine.
I thought we mentioned it, but I don't know.
I'm fairly certain you and I did talk about it, but I don't know if you, me, and Royce talked about it.
I'm
That's
already
the
in
problem.
another project with Richard. I had 2 meetings with him these last couple Saturdays, and I was
I
welding.
know. Hey, I'm
Some
already
busy
on that.
mofos.
I'm just constantly muting you as you're welding. Yes.
Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, everybody heard the grinder go off this last weekend, and they're like, "Oh my god!" And I'm like, "My bad." Click. That was great. So, ladies and gentlemen. Oh man. Well, as busy as all of us have been, it is time. It is that time of the week where I turn the show over to our fantastic guest. Ladies and gentlemen, a guy who has been around on the channel for quite a while, a guy who is releasing his own novels, and a guy who I have heard is a fun conversation. Don't let us down. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Timo Burnham. Good sir, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm
Good, man. Good. Oh, wait. I was told I'm saying it wrong. Timo Burnham.
Yes, you say Tim and then I don't know.
But I've said Timo for so long.
Yep, and you're probably gonna keep saying that. So.
I'm gonna try not to. That's okay. Shame me in the chat for saying his name. Although I don't say his name as wrong as John A. Douglas, so there is that. Screw you, John. So, first of all, sir, before we get into the questions and asking about everything, how has your last week been, man? How have you been?
Pretty good. I had like I guess I kind of still have it, some weird kind of like ear infection thing. It's been bugging me all week.
Don't even say that. No, I don't even want to hear. No,
You have
ear
cursed
infections.
us.
Ear infections are the bane of my existence.
Man, we're just like this is a geriatric stream. If
You guys are terrible, man. What is wrong?
I'm not
dying.
sick.
dying of the
That's all that
flu.
matters.
Yeah, and you're not drinking this week either. It makes me feel alone. Well, hopefully
Just
the ear
water.
infection gets better. Nope, not going into my history with that. I actually had to have surgery to correct the ear infections I used to get when I was a kid, so that was fun.
So did my daughter.
Okay, off of that topic, Timo Burnham, good sir, you are out there. You're writing some fantastic novels. Okay, right now pulled up on Amazon. I will be sharing these links down below. We've got The Black Saint and Dawn of the Black Sun, the Silver Emperor. So before we get into all of that, what inspired you to start writing and get in on that journey and start back as early as you want to? Were you a little kid when you got inspired? Were you an adult? Was there somebody in your corner the whole time, or were people against you? Fill us in, man. Let us know. Let us know.
I guess the really short answer is I couldn't find any books that I wanted to read like that, or like the exact type of book I was looking for. And so I decided to start writing my own stories. I'm trying to remember. I think it would have been 2019, I think, was when I first started seriously trying to write stories. And by seriously, I mean like actually trying to write a whole story, not like I'm going to be publishing this. I think when I was maybe in my teens, I wrote a little bit, but I wouldn't stick with it. Like I'd write like a scene of like assassin man assassinating, and then I would not write anything else for that.
I mean, that does sound like a solid concept, though.
It's a great story idea.
Stab.
But yeah, I just didn't have the follow through, I guess, when I was that age.
Well, very few people do. That's the sad part.
Yeah. And I mean, I guess I can't speak for everyone, but writing is hard for me. Like, it feels like work almost all the time. It's really just about making it a habit to get stuff done.
Correct. Consistency is key.
So what was the, aside from just not being able to find the things that you wanted, was there any like specific experience that you had that kind of directed what you decided to write, or anything like that? Like a particular piece of media that changed, your tastes, or kind of set you on a certain path of being like, I want to, that's the kind of thing I want to live up to. That's the kind of thing that I first was thinking about whenever I was thinking, oh, it could be cool if I could be like this, or that kind of thing. Or was it more of a more generalized desire to write and create and do that kind of thing?
I think it started with when I was in my like teens and early 20s, I read a lot of the Drizzt books. I don't know if you know what that is, but R.A. Salvatore.
Yep.
Oh,
Drizzt Do'Urden.
Yeah, those were my favorite books. I remember with my friend, we would like read the fight scenes and then like way over analyze them.
Oh, okay.
Which is
I love overanalyzing fight scenes. That's one of my favorite things to do. And I know nothing about fighting, but it's just one of those things that's just like, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, and that's like a weird mix of like nerdiness and like jockiness, I guess.
Right. Well, I'm not a jock. I'm definitely not a jock.
It's particularly
I am kind of a weird mix of like a nerd and a jock. So.
Oh, there you go. I hung out with a lot of people like that for sure. So I definitely know that type.
But yeah, so I was super into that, kind of up until my early 20s, and then I kind of stopped reading for several years. Just life. Some of it was college. Like I didn't like reading as much because I had to do a bunch of it for classes and stuff. And then just life, work, stuff like that kind of kept coming at me. And then it was like later 20s. I don't remember exactly when, but I read Mistborn, Brandon Sanderson.
Yeah.
And that book, like, really good book, but more than that, like, that book just kind of changed my perspective on like what you can do with like a fantasy book. And I think that was basically kind of the beginning of my journey to actually end up writing my own stories.
Interesting.
So
yeah, I think I would say I'm kind of like a distilled Brandon Sanderson in like what my stories are like. Like they're much shorter than his books, but they kind of have the same elements that he puts in his books.
interesting. So as far as um, well, okay. So whenever you say the same kind of elements, now Brandon Sanderson is known for a number of things, but what would you say are what are you talking about whenever you mean those elements distilled down? Because one thing he's known for is his extreme productivity in terms of like volume. Um, is it just the story style with the more interwoven tale, or what were your big draws from that? Because I enjoyed Mistborn as well. I thought it was a good one. I don't know what you thought about the whole trilogy, but
Um, I actually haven't read. I've read the first one and part of the second one, and I haven't read the third one. Not because I thought like the second one was bad. I just got distracted and haven't gotten back to it.
I think
Hey, I know that feeling.
I think that second one has the classic, second book in a trilogy that was not,
Not quite as good.
1000% always going to be a trilogy. You know what I mean? That was written as a trilogy, but wasn't necessarily guaranteed to publish the next book immediately, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So,
I would say the three kind of pillars that I see as like what he does is some kind of interesting magic system, and it usually is almost always tied to the world building like very deeply in some way. Um, and then a lot of action, and then some kind of mystery or multiple mysteries that are either the main plot or like a big part of the plot.
yeah.
I would say that's kind of the stuff that I put in my stories as well.
Yeah. Okay. Those are definitely very big factors. So you would tend towards a more, I don't necessarily want to call it like a systematic magic system, but or formulaic, but a very strict rule based kind of system.
Yeah, I definitely tend towards like the harder magic systems. Mine definitely aren't as complex as his, or they're probably not as hard as his. But I like to sort of come up with the rules for how it works, and how you can, get better at the magic or whatever, things like that. I with my new book, Dawn of the Black Sun, I kind of there's like an element of hard magic to the magic, and there's an element of soft magic, and I did that on purpose because I wanted the soft magic allows each different character that uses the magic to have their own personal spin on it, while the hard magic has to do with like they all the foundational way it works like is the same for every person.
So what is Dawn of the Black Sun about? How did you conceive the story, and how did you write it?
I sat at my computer for hours and hours and
Fair. I deserve that. Yep, that's fair.
I went to this website called.
Yeah.
No, I won't even say.
No, don't even. No, we're not starting that. Damn it, Richard! Don't put that in front of the chat.
Go back to coughing, Richard.
Oh God.
I just couldn't resist.
I'm trying to think. What was the very first? Well, like probably before I even had the specific idea, I watch anime. I don't watch like a ton of anime, but I watch it sometimes, and I would like see the fight scenes, and anime, like everything is like 3 billion%. Like you don't do anything like 50%. Like
No, absolutely not.
and that's something
Especially in shonen, especially in the shonen genre. Yeah,
exactly.
it's all
Go
over
hard
the.
or go home.
And so
See.
I'm watching these like fight scenes where a character like just jumps and like shoots through like a mountain, and the mountain explodes, and then he punches the other guy and he goes to the moon and stuff like that, and I'm like, this is cool. And like, it's not that they don't explain like how people can do stuff, but they don't try really hard to justify like every little thing, or like how a person necessarily could survive that kind of force on their body.
Yep.
And I was like, it would be fun to do like a story where you can have characters that do stuff like that, but maybe I explain it a little bit better.
Yeah.
And I think that was like the first idea. I'm trying to remember. There was like another bit of inspiration I had. Oh yeah. I don't know if you know who Will White is. He's an indie author, very very big indie author. He writes a lot of progression style fantasy, if you know what that is.
I'm not familiar with it offhand, but can you tell us just briefly?
Unless, so
Daniel or everybody else knows.
Specifically, I'm talking about his Cradle series, which I think is like his biggest series. Like 12 books, I think it is. I think he just finished it. But it's like progression fantasy. So, beginning of the story, the main character, he's like this. He's like weaker than like level 1. He's like level -1 at the beginning. He's super weak. Yeah. And throughout the books, he trains and fights monsters and gets stronger and stronger and stronger until he's like a god at the end, basically.
I see. Okay.
And so
a lot of anime does that trope too.
Yeah,
I was gonna say. I'm thinking of.
And I'm not knocking that. I actually like that kind of story a lot.
Yeah. There's a martial arts anime that I really enjoyed called I think it's called Kenichi, the First Disciple or Last Disciple, and he's basically the weakest kid in a school and ends up training under these insane, unique masters to become a great martial artist, but he just doesn't believe in himself through most of the show. It's endearing and really wild.
Nice.
My very intellectual self is watching the original Dragon Ball, so I've got that going on.
Original Dragon Ball is
wow. I did not know the original Japanese Dragon Ball is it's not what I would have expected for
it's
what
something
presumably is a kids show.
Welcome. It wasn't a kids show. It was not a kids show in Japan.
Well,
the original Dragon Ball.
I thought it was a kids show.
No, it was not. The original Dragon Ball was Toriyama's interpretation on Journey to the West.
Yep.
So for those of you who are aware of what, yeah, it is not a kid's show. And it's a kid's show. No, here in the U.S., animation was very much largely for children. Over in Japan, it was not. It was just another way to tell a story. They don't have the stigma around animation that we do here in the U.S.
Right,
and so...
Sorry, man. You got started.
I hate you. And it's not a weeb thing. It's just general knowledge. It's not a freaking weeb thing. Okay. Anyway, okay, I'm sorry. Continue. It's impossible with you people.
I really want to like test your general knowledge about Dragon Ball, but just right now.
OG Dragon Ball, it's dated. I don't remember a lot. Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball GT and Dragon Ball Super.
I have a trivia question for whenever I get to ask trivia questions about anime.
Do I need to post? No. What's the trivia question? Let's put it in the poll.
What does the
scouter say about his power level?
Yeah.
No. What is the very first wish made from the Dragon Balls?
I believe it was Oolong.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Whenever I was like, why am I watching this? And I'm like, my fever is like, like 103 degrees, and I'm like delusional. I'm like feverish. I'm like, am I really seeing this? I'm sorry, it's completely derailed here.
No, it's awesome. It's awesome. You'll see the chat, but I remember. I know this very well.
I see chat already knows.
Chat, oh yeah, I already.
Oh man,
apparently, and I know the character that did it too.
Herman wants to know my opinion on Legend of Korra.
Oh no! God damn it!
Damn
it, Herman.
Of the 3 great seasons, which was the greatest?
I can tell you that 3. By the way, there was 4.
4 of the 4 great seasons.
No, they weren't all great.
I remember liking the first one the most.
Really?
Maybe that's just because I haven't watched it in a long time. So I didn't like it nearly as much as the original.
No, and it's not as good. It's not. No, that comes from horrible stream. Anyway, no, not gonna tailspin on that one.
Thanks for the derail, Herman.
Oh God, yeah. Well, I mean, kind of. Richard derailed us with Dragon Ball, so we'll go there. But,
I'm gonna blame.
Well, I will say this, Timo. God damn it. It's so hard not to say Timo, dude. I have said it like that for so long. And you've never corrected me.
I mean, it's hard when I'm not on the stream with you.
It's true. You could call me an idiot in the chat. That's perfectly fine. Anyway, but I will blame you for this. You did mention anime, and then, yes, many things happened after that.
Oh, yeah. I was talking about Will White's books. That's what.
Yes.
Progression fantasy.
Yeah. So I like his books. They're really good. Obviously, he has like so many fans. He sold way more books than I could ever hope to. But I kind of wish that I got a little bit more of the like emotional arc from his characters, because the books are so much about the like progression as far as like the magic and them getting stronger. And because they're short, and he does it on purpose, like he's trying to write books like that, so it's not like he's a bad writer. But I wished I could have gotten like a little bit more of like the emotional arcs of the characters. And so that was, I think, my other initial inspiration was to write something kind of progression fantasy, but to try to have it more of like you get in a normal like epic fantasy where the arcs are really about like the characters growing and changing or getting worse or whatever it is that's happening to them.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. So yeah, those were the 2 big ideas for writing this book and the series itself, which only has 1 book out yet. I'm working on book 2 right now. Well, not right now.
Why not right now?
I could. I'm going to pull up my Word doc.
Uh-oh. He's like, well, I'm not going to work on it on the show, but like, if you want me to work on it on the show, I can. As long as we get a behind the scenes. Maybe? No?
It's very boring.
Sir, you
a
say
lot of
that.
empty staring.
Yeah. It's you'll see the document like sitting there, and then I'll write a sentence or 2, and then it'll stop, and then another sentence, and then I'll delete a couple words and then rewrite it. That's what it would be like.
Apparently, according to my daughter, my inner monologue as I'm typing reflects on my face. So I go through expressions. So I'm just sitting here going like this, going.
Yeah, I'm sure. I don't know if I ever talk out loud, but I definitely like sit there and like mime in my head like a conversation between 2 people. So I don't know what I look like when I'm doing that, but
I'm a very, very outward spoken person. If I ever write a book, I'm gonna talk that whole damn thing out, like, and then as I'm talking it out, like, Yeah.
He's going to voice to text the whole thing. It'll be horrific.
It's fine. I'll hire Daniel P. Riley as my editor and say, hey, dude, I got this book. Jumble. It's great. Do me a favor. Just go through and find out what doesn't make sense. And he's going to be like,
and then next Friday, we are going to begin the search for a new third chair because the late Mr. Riley. We also have a GoFundMe for his family.
Yeah,
he jumped off his roof. It's
don't judge my voice to text, you bastards.
Yeah, you'll see.
I'm going to judge your voice to text. I've had to read enough of it.
Man found dead with screwdriver shoved up nose.
Oh God. Here's my problem with like the writing stuff. Like, because what I like to do, I actually physically like to handwrite everything out. Which means I need to take what I handwrote and then write it and then actually type it into a Word doc. Phone. No, not into my phone, into a Word doc. Into a Word doc. I'm not that much of a scrub. Oh my good Lord. Possibly, kind of. Yeah, it's not. I'm not saying it hasn't happened. Maybe.
Yeah.
But that's one thing I love. I love handwriting. Actually, I've got notebooks over here that have start to books that I've done in the past, and I'm just like, I don't think I'm gonna continue on.
A lot of folks who start on paper and then transfer to Word doc.
I like it. There's something really cathartic about physically writing, and I don't mean print. I mean, actually writing. Like, let's see, does this one have? Yeah. So that there.
Hmm.
I was working on a map and everything as well, so.
Yeah, my problem is I can't even read my own handwriting, so I would have no idea what I wrote.
My mom tells me my handwriting is absolutely terrible, and everybody else who sees it on the planet is like, dude, your handwriting is amazing. And I'm just like, no, it is not.
It's very cursive.
It's called writing, not print. There's a difference.
I'll support your mom if you want. Don't worry.
Yeah, and her handwriting is immaculate. It's annoyingly immaculate. It's like she was made to practice when she was a kid until it was perfect. And my grandfather was very strict on that. Oh my God. My mom's handwriting looks like it was written by an angel. My dad's handwriting is worse than a doctor's, and I'm somewhere in between.
That's mine. I'm here for the doctor.
The other problem I have is I'm left-handed, so when if I write with a pencil, then I just rub my words all get smudged because my hand rubs them.
They never taught you how to write properly with left-handed. My mom,
right hand.
Well,
not sure.
My mom. I actually used to practice with my left hand. My mom was actually teaching me because she's left. My mom is left-handed. And so I was actually I was training myself to do that left-handed, and I'm probably not. I probably couldn't do it anymore. I haven't practiced it since high school, but yeah, very, very different. Timo wasn't hit with the ruler enough.
Yeah, if I'd been born, like a generation or two earlier, then I would have had to learn to write with my right hand.
Right.
Pretty much.
Pretty much, man. Pretty much. So you get into all the writing. You're inspired by some of the stuff by anime. You working with the various different magic systems. And right now, I do have the synopsis pulled up on Amazon, and it says Ryushu lives the quiet and boring life of a fisherman's son until a single day rips his world apart. Where does that story enter your mind? How does that enter your mind? What's going on? Is it just like, I'm going to write a story? Or are you like, wait a minute. This makes sense. How does that work?
Usually, I don't know if it's usually. A lot of times, story ideas start as what is the word? I guess vibe, as the kids would say these days.
See, kids say stupid things. It's
yeah. But like a
Just diss the guest, I tell you.
It's not specific.
I didn't diss the guests. I dissed the kids. You weren't listening.
I know. Yeah.
You got. I said the kids. The kids are.
Yeah, it's not necessarily like a specific plot.
Good
It's the
effort.
first idea. It's like I don't know, like a mystery story. Like I would really like to tell like a really cool mystery story. And that's usually like the initial idea, and then from there I go to the specifics and I start thinking, okay, like what kind of mystery, like what kind of characters are there going to be, what's the setting, that kind of stuff. And as I think about that, I start to, generally it will be the plot. I will start to like slowly piece together the plot, or at least an idea of how I think the story will go. A lot of times it changes by the time I actually get to writing, but and also, like, for me, these ideas are pretty much always like, I want to tell a mystery story, but I'm going to tell a mystery fantasy story. Or I want to tell an action adventure story, but I want to tell an action adventure fantasy story. Or, yeah, whatever. Like, I always make it fantasy or sci-fi, because why not?
I mean, if it's open to you, might as well go for it.
Yeah.
So what's have you done any shorts? This is your first book in the series, correct? What else have you put out a previous book?
Yeah, so The Black Saint was my first book I published, and that was 2 years ago now, I think.
Okay. Because I was thinking that you had something previous, and then you said that this was your first book, but I was realizing you meant the first book in the series.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah.
I will get your author page here.
Yeah, The Black Saint.
Richard's meds are kicking in.
Yeah, they're kind of. It's this coffee. I drank the coffee, and I'm like,
Yeah.
kind of waking back up, and
Very, very heavy spiked coffee. Illicit things in the coffee.
And I'll collapse
I know that.
here in a little bit.
No, don't do that. That's too much. You only. I told you 3 drops. What?
Just power down.
Three drops. That's. You put more than 3 drops, didn't you?
It really. What kind of measurement is a drop?
Measure, just use feeling.
Yeah.
That's what I do when I mix drinks.
No. Oh,
Why do you
God.
think I'm drunk by the end of the street?
Oh God! Usually you're drunk halfway through.
That's a good idea, actually. You should take a shot every time Royce mispronounces my name.
What?
Oh, jeez. Rose is giving him shit about Dragon Ball.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, hey, I figured out what's going on. There we go. I had another microphone in the room that was live because I have my amplifier mic'd up for reasons.
Yeah, I wondered what I was hearing.
That I forgot to hit the mute button on that microphone. It's the microphone that Matt was using, and it's currently sitting in front of my guitar amplifier for reasons. Reasons?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
Foreshadowing! Why would I
There
say that? Why would I say that?
All right.
Foreshadowing is for long foreshadowing. Sorry. Oh, good Lord. No, Key, come on. Don't start that conspirator crap again.
Show, don't tell, Royce.
I choose both.
Fair enough.
I choose show and tell. What happened to that? And it was awesome too. I brought my Megazord. It was amazing. There, you can bring one toy, and I was like, "But what if 5 toys create one toy?" And they totally let me in. Loopholes, ladies and gentlemen, loopholes. That's how you do the show and tell loophole.
Your pants have 4 pockets, so you can get away with 5 toys for show and tell.
No, it all became one toy. But they all came together. It was the Zeo Zords from Power Rangers Zeo. Not even screw. Don't actually. The things that people say that. All right, so Timo, let's get to know you a little bit more, and let me ask you this question.
Oh boy.
That because it just happened to me. You guys saw it. You saw the aneurysm happen. But do people ever say things and it jogs a memory from you that you're like, man, I forgot about that? And what, like, have you had a moment like that recently have you had a moment like that recently that's reminded you about something that you'd forgotten about? Like, is that a recent thing or is that just a me thing? Because I feel like that happens to people.
I mean, I'm sure it probably happens to me. I feel like all I can think of right now is like people saying something that reminds me of an old meme I saw.
Uh-oh.
I don't have a specific example right now, but I remember people will say like things and I'll be like, yeah, that's a meme.
That's funny.
Speaking of, I sometimes put that in my books. I never force it, but I will have meme references occasionally in my books. And if you happen to know the specific meme, you might pick it up.
Oh, that's excellent.
If not, you will just keep reading.
That's especially if you do it subtle enough that it's not so on the nose.
Yeah, no, I never try to force like a meme or a joke like that. It's just if it happens to work, then I'll add it in. I think there was a story I had, a short story. I don't think I've ever published it anywhere, but this character like walks into a place and they're looking for someone, and they said, "Hey, have you seen so and so?" And then the guy responds by like, or they say, "Do you know who so and so is?" And the guy says, "Of course I know him. He's me." Which, if you know the Obi-Wan meme,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. No, absolutely. Yeah. As soon as you said that, I was like, oh yeah. Well, and there's so many fantastic phrases and lines and things that we can draw from our culture that's been built, and things that we can put into books and remind people of some of the fantastic stories while still telling our own story. And I feel like that would be something really hard to navigate personally. How do you navigate that?
Navigate what exactly?
How do you navigate taking the previous culture that we've experienced through like memes and things like that, right? Because you're saying that you'll have references to memes, you'll have references to stuff like that. And it could be hard to keep people engaged in the story while also reminding them of like the meme or something. How do you navigate that to make sure that it doesn't take them out, but it's just a friendly reminder to them that, you know, there were things that came before? How do you navigate that? Because I could see how some other people could very easily be too on the nose about it and take people right out of the story.
That's a good point.
I basically always err on the side of them missing it rather than it standing out too much. So I think a lot of the references that I put in, when I ask people about it, they say, "Oh, I didn't realize you were referencing a meme there," which I would prefer over them being like, "Oh, I see the joke you made here," because I would rather they stay in the story and experience the story rather than notice a meme if I had to pick one or the other.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
It's
Yeah,
more
it's
like an Easter egg.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, but some people don't do Easter eggs well.
No.
And it's
If you're like,
oh
hey,
my
look at
God.
it.
My wife is throwing things. I'm not sure what's going on right now.
Yay!
Yeah, it's
Shouldn't like that Facebook post, Royce.
what the hell are you talking about?
I'm kidding.
I was like, what? Oh, first of all, Facebook. Second of all, what?
I don't know.
I just had an aneurysm.
The look on his face is priceless.
Okay, I'm gonna go help my wife
I'm just
real
having
quick.
fun with Royce tonight. I'm sorry.
Sir, phrasing. Good God, no.
We're not.
Yeah, no. It's phrasing.
There was like that one
Stop it.
moment of what the hell is he talking about Facebook? There was the other moment of did I miss something? They just like
Well, because I'm like,
on his face. Awesome.
I don't do anything. I don't know. I'll be right back. I'm gonna go help my wife with things because I did ask my wife to help me out with some things, and she's working on stuff. And so I will be right back. So yes, wow, just like that. Wow, oh, just bye, Felicia. Did you just buy Felicia me? Wow.
He's feeling peppy without the booze in him tonight. So I think we were talking about Easter eggs.
Yes,
but
I want to hear about the story next.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's 2 books, and although we've heard a little bit about, is it Dawn of the Black Sun? I swear somebody put
Dawn of the Black Sun.
Somebody put Rise of the Black Sun, and I was like, I've got that mixed in my brain.
That's the next one, followed by Fall of the Black Sun and Sideways Shift of the Black Sun. We'll just keep going
and then Eclipse of the Black Sun.
Love the Black Sun.
We'll just keep going in directions until it's over.
That if people want it, you might as well give it to them. So let's see here. The Black Saint, though, was your first novel that you did. Would you mind telling us a little bit about that? Is this I was going to say this also, based on the cover, looks a little bit more of a fantasy, or also looks somewhat fantasy. Is that a fair assessment? Or
yeah. So they're both fantasy. I think the fast pitch for Black Saint is if you've seen Daredevil, the Netflix show, it's basically like Daredevil season 1 set in a fantasy city.
Interesting.
Yeah. The Daredevil show was a big inspiration for that book. I like the idea
in the sense of the main character being it says since those, let's see here, sixth sense. So I mean, it was kind of the abilities of the main character the primary inspiration in that case.
I don't think him actually having like a superpower was the main inspiration. I think the inspiration was really like telling this like low, like street level vigilante origin story was the big inspiration that I got from Daredevil season 1.
Yeah.
And what I was really interested in was telling that story, but setting it in a fantasy setting rather than in like real world city.
Yeah.
And then later on, at some point, I ended up giving him an ability. But initially, I think he didn't have any like special powers.
I gotcha. And within that world, is it fantasy in the sense? Is it like a low fantasy, high fantasy? Tell us a little bit about that. In terms of like magic use, is it like everybody's popping out their wands to do everything?
I guess you would call it a low fantasy. In that setting, people have. I guess you could call it magic, but essentially they like different people will have different abilities, kind of like superheroes. But no one has ever called a superhero or anything like that. What was the question? I forgot.
Well, I was asking more about like what kind of fantasy world it was, whether it was low fantasy, high fantasy.
Yeah, I think I would describe it as low. There isn't like people using magic to like fly around and like shoot fireballs everywhere and stuff like that. Most of the fights are like fist fights or knife fights.
Dawn of the Black Sun seems to have somewhat of an Eastern feel to it. Is Black Saint like in the same kind of world system, or is it a totally separate fantasy world?
Yeah, it's a different one. Um, Dawn of the Black Sun world, it's very Eastern inspired. Um, Black Saint is it's mostly kind of like a Western like medieval setting, but there's a little bit of like Eastern elements mixed in as well. So
Interesting.
um,
Yeah, because I'd say the cover for both of these I think are
Very Eastern
very good.
inspired.
Yeah, well, the first one, or not the first one, the newer book, Dawn of the
newer
Black
one.
Sun, the first in your series, I think it's mainly the hat is very much
Well, and the main
telegraphing that a
character's
little bit.
name.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, the hat was something we specifically wanted to put on the cover to make sure it conveyed the idea that this is like an Eastern style story.
Is that a nod to the Japanese god Raiden or no?
As portrayed in combat, maybe.
No, if you Mortal Kombat kind of pulled some of that from the original.
A little bit.
A little bit, yes, but it's still. But I have to ask because it reminds me of it. But anyway, Timo, sorry.
Yeah.
Timo, damn it. It's so hard to say.
It wasn't on purpose, but after it was pointed out to me, I was like, yes, that makes total sense that people think that, this character is based off Raiden. Because, yeah, you got the hat and the glowing lightning eyes and lightning power.
Well, and it's such just an iconic, at least modern day interpretation of the, more modern interpretation of the character.
I mean, I'm happy if people have something that like is instantly recognizable about it, because it means they'll remember it.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Is the magic system then sort of martial arts weaved with elemental magic, or is it like a totally different system?
Yeah. The way that, well, there's kind of two magic systems in the book, but the main one that I focus on, yeah, it's I guess similar to the way that magic works in like Avatar: The Last Airbender. It's not exactly the same, but that's probably the closest if I had to pick something else to compare it to.
Works for me. I'm a Wuxia fan, so
nice. Yeah. It's I think of the series as like, it is an epic fantasy series that I added a progression fantasy magic system into.
Right on.
So the magic system very much, it kind of has a structure where like there's like levels where you can get stronger. Not like explicitly, like the characters don't. They in the story they talk about levels, but those are levels that are kind of arbitrary, that they have just kind of come up with to describe a person's ability. Yeah, so, but for me, planning it out and thinking about it, I kind of planned it out as like, okay, here's the levels, here's like the base level, and here's like the best you can get, and then in between stuff like that. So
awesome.
Interesting.
Yeah, and something I think is good to do if you have like progression style stories is at the beginning, because pretty much always you are having a character who has almost no power, and you're getting to see him progress. That's the fun of those kind of stories. So I always think it's good to have another character who is like at the top or way more advanced, so you get to sort of see the promise of like, this is what you're going to get to see if you keep reading. This is what you're going to get to see your favorite character do eventually.
I've seen that a lot in certain things, and it's actually one of my favorite things. What you described is a way to keep me reading a story even if I am not particularly interested in the story. Because, for instance, that what you described is what got me interested in like Black Clover. And that you have this character who is zero, zero zits zilch, just nothing. And then like his best friend is super strong already and this, that, and the other thing. And the idea of walking with the main character as they become powerful enough to take on this character who already has power, who's more powerful than they are, and their best friend. That's a really great way to hook people in and get them invested. And I actually really enjoy stuff like that. It's like, well, I didn't really enjoy this part, but I gotta see how the guy gets there. It's like I love that. That is enough motivation for me to want to finish a story. It's like, well, I gotta see how he gets there. That's a great. What made you want to do that?
Will White.
Yeah, I think he was the. I guess. Yeah, Brandon Sanderson was kind of the starting point, and kind of like me seeing like, oh, hey, I could do some really like crazy stuff with my magic. It doesn't just have to be like D&D, wizard cast spell kind of thing. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but yeah. But then I think reading Will White's books and seeing like how like video gamey they are, but like still really good.
Right.
Because before that, I had always kind of thought like, well, in a video game, it's different. In a book, you have to do it this way. But when I read his books, I was like, I guess you don't actually have to do it this way. Like you can change it up a little bit. You can go a little more video gamey if you want.
Yeah, progression fantasy does have something of a lit RPG element to it a lot of the time. The real question, though, is how often in Dawn of the Black Sun do we get a training montage in the gravity chamber?
You have to have a training montage in the gravity chamber. It's like if you don't have a training montage in the gravity chamber, what are you even doing?
I don't think
I'm just
have
messing
any
with Royce.
montages in there. I think I generally, I know some people really like them. If there's something like that, I tend to do it more as like a quick sort of summary, or I jump ahead in time and then give you a little bit of like, okay, this is what he's been doing, rather than actually writing out the training.
In literary form, I think that's the best way to handle that.
It all depends on your audience.
I know there's people who read progression and they really like the training montages. So I know there's some people.
I would not like to read a training montage.
Yeah, well,
listen,
you're not
Royce,
the audience.
Hold on. What if you turned the page and it just started playing the music? You know what I mean?
Eye of the Tiger.
A little bit additional production cost.
It's the eye of the tiger.
Exactly.
It's the thrill.
No,
I still wouldn't want to read a training montage.
Yeah.
Do it training montages are fun to watch. I could not imagine reading a
what
training.
What if it had like a beat, kind of like dun dun dun? And
you don't get a beat. What is it? No, because I will say this. I hate when writers.
I've got some good ideas.
Write lyrics on a page, and they just expect their readers to know like how the tune goes. Like it's one of the things. Love Tolkien. Love what he did. The guy kept putting songs in there and expecting me to know the melody that was in his head when he wrote it, and I'm like, I got nothing, bro. This sounds like gobbledygook to me. And I'm like trying to like rhyme it the best that I can and figure out the melody. No.
Unless it flows like a simple rhyme, it's really...
Well, yes, yeah, if you do a simple limerick and it flows like that, that's fine. But no. It's like the training montage in a book. Come on. No, I like what Timo said. I said it right. I like what Timo said. He's like, no, I just, would just flash forward.
It's true that some audiences do prefer that stuff. I
can't defend the retarded people out there. I can't do it.
I got a bunch of comments from folks who read Legacy of Heroes because I did put one scene of the new heroes training with one of the older heroes, and then I skipped. I did a paragraph of they did this over the course of weeks and developed these things, and I got feedback from that. Like, I really wish there would have been more of the training sequences with that character, and I'm like, really?
Okay. But that's not a montage.
It is a montage when you have sequence after sequence after sequence. That's montage.
I do have to mention this because it will quickly go away. This one I have to mention because StreamYard won't save it. Kikomon just gifted 10 Drink with Crazy memberships over on the YouTube channel. Thank you so much, Kikomon. I do appreciate it, good sir. I do have to, because those don't get saved until the end.
Show me, show you.
You guys are all in a cult. Kikomon started a cult in my Guilded, and I don't know how to fight that. But, okay, so training montage aside. Timo, I'm sorry. I feel like we cut you off.
I don't remember what I was saying, but I will say I am kind of the opposite of Tolkien. I cut out pretty much everything that is not super important to the plot.
Right.
So my stories are very, very fast paced, and there's no scenes that don't really, really move the story forward. And this is not me knocking people who write that way. Like that's another way to write. There's people who like that kind of story, but that's definitely not the way that I write.
Right.
So people who like stories that, get right to the point, get right to the action, don't mess around, they will probably like my style of storytelling.
See, and that's a way to sell a book, good sir. If you like action, you want to get down. You want to get down right now. Read my book. That's the way to do it. I like it.
Yep. And also, Dawn of the Black Sun starts out with a character finding a sword that can talk to him.
That's interesting. That is interesting.
Or is it a sword? You'll have to read and find out.
See, I like what you did there. That's a proper shill, good sir. And I love that. You'll have to read and find sir, what will we have to read and find out?
The book.
What
Dawn
book?
Of the Black Sun.
Dawn of the Black. Hey, like that link that I just shared down in the chats down there. It's awesome. And it's also, the Amazon links are also in the description of this live stream.
Yeah. Also, I will say this before I forget. I set myself a goal, and this goal was mainly just so that I would make myself show my books more, which was to get 20 Amazon reviews before the end of August. I am at 18 right now, so if two people want to go leave a review at some point in the next couple weeks, I will hit my goal.
That's awesome. And I mean, to get 18 reviews for, especially, for a new book, for a new author, that's pretty good, man. It means people, especially when it comes to reviews. Reviews are so much different than just Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
You actually have to put effort into putting a review out there. And the fact that it's a new book, you're a very unknown author, and you got 18 reviews already, and you just came out at the tail end of June, that's a very good thing. Because that means that at least, about 4.5, it adds up to like 4.5 people a week have pretty much gone and reviewed your stuff and said, hey, I really like this. This is good. Especially because you have 4.7 out of 5 stars. And that's not something to freaking sneeze at all.
Definitely.
Yeah. A tip I will give about reviews for like new authors is at the end of your book, right after whatever the end of the story is, write I think it's usually called like a call to action, but essentially write something there where you specifically ask people to leave reviews of your book. And that's what I did on this new book. I didn't do that on my first book. But I have a little section. I thank the reader. I I can't remember what I write. Something I tell them like how important the readers are, which I'm not just like trying to get them to review. That's like honestly, I write my honest feelings about how important readers are and everything, and then at the end of that I say, please leave a review if an honest review of the book, and I think that helps a lot. It's not like a magic way to instantly get a million reviews, but I think it helps a lot with getting more reviews for your book.
Well,
seems to be working.
And that's one of the things that is so funny. If people hate something, they'll go out and they'll lambaste it all day online. If people love something, they won't say a word. They'll set it down and keep it to themselves. Mm-hmm. And so to put that call to action in your book, like, hey, if you like what I'm doing, please go review it. And they go, oh yeah. It's like, why wouldn't you do that? Why, if you enjoyed something, would you not go out and just preach the good word to the world? And just people are not like that. It's really, really weird. It's something strange that I've noticed for years.
I think there's a certain psychology to it in that people who like something, they go tell their friends. So they'll go talk about it. Mm-hmm. A review, you actually have to sit down and type your thoughts out instead of just going, hey, dude, check this out. So there's a little bit of a psychology behind the online review. Reviews traditionally, way back before the dawn of the internet, were specifically something that people who got paid to do it did. That there weren't a lot of open forum opinion reviews before the boom of the internet.
Yeah, but they've been here for like 20 years.
Yeah, but that's the thing. People like to talk about the thing that they like, and a review isn't talking about it.
Well, that is true. And I mean, I guess I could be like, well, I mean, I talk about the stuff that I like, but I also have a YouTube channel that I talk about it on. So it's very different. I get more
DMs from people who tell me how much they liked my book than I get reviews.
Okay, I actually do have to ask this question. When you do get those DMs, do you say, hey, it would mean a lot to me if you would leave a review? Do you throw that out there or not?
Yeah, it comes up in conversation. I'm not like, hey, since you liked it, write a review. But if it comes up in conversation, sure.
Hey. That's interesting. But I think, 2 more reviews, 2 more ratings on Amazon by the end of August. So if 2 of you buy Timo's book today, it will come most likely within the next week. You guys can read it. You guys can review it. Dawn of the Black Sun. And check it out and see what you guys think for yourselves.
And if you have read it, leave a review.
Yes.
Or you can get the ebook if you don't want the physical. The ebook's only 99 cents. So I made it as cheap as I could.
There you go. I will say this. I am the type of person. Guys, I know $7.99 is definitely more than 99 cents. Although Timo may not do this, I will do this. I strongly urge the purchase of the physical copy. They are doing things digitally, and especially indie authors who don't necessarily have the ability to protect their works or monitor their works, all the time. I strongly suggest, please support the author with the paperback. So that way you can immortalize their words on the page. That is something that I cannot stress enough. The
Black Sun does have 8, I think, interior illustrations. So if you want to enjoy those physically, that's another reason to get the physical book. There's also a map, and then the cover art, obviously, which I think might be Neutron Bohr's best stuff, and I'm not saying that just because it's my book.
No. Neutron Bohr's best stuff is right here. This is Neutron. That's the best. That's it. That's Neutron Bohr's best stuff.
All of Neutron Bohr stuff.
Dude, that guy gets around like the town bicycle, okay? Like, I am so surprised how many people know Neutron Bohr. Like, he is just he's everywhere and nowhere all at the same time. And I mean that sincerely.
Yeah, he's a work machine. Like,
dude,
he works so fast without like sacrificing quality at all.
You mean that sincerely after calling him a bicycle.
Mm-hmm.
Sending mixed signals, Royce.
It's a drink with crazy. What else would I send? Are you It's like you haven't been here before. No, it's one of those things. It's like it's so interesting how many people know Neutron Bohr, how many people have worked with him, how many people, and maybe, I don't know, maybe I'm just new to this world, but I'm just like, I was first introduced to him through Black Knight. And then other people are like, oh yeah, I've hired him. And I'll be like, oh yeah, I know Neutron Bohr. And then it just keeps growing. And I'm like, how many people do you know? And like, that speaks to Neutron Bohr's work for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm really happy to see him getting all this work. I've been friends with him for a while now, and like he's obviously extremely skilled. So he definitely deserves all the work he's been getting. So I'm really happy to see it.
Agreed.
Yeah. I maybe I should reach out to Neutron Bohr and be like, hey, do you want to come on Iron Age Nights and just I actually don't know how I would conduct that interview, to be perfectly. It's easy
to come on Iron Age Nights and show us pictures.
Yeah, just show us pictures for like an hour and a half, 2 hours. It's fine.
Yeah. Can you actually pull up the sample of Dawn of the Black Sun? Because I think you can actually see the first illustration.
I believe I can, as long as the sample is. I don't have a sample available on Amazon.
Really?
I can do the look inside the book. Let's see, is the illustration there? The mapping illustrations?
There's the map, and then the first illustration is like page 3 or 4, I think. So if it shows you that page, you should be able to see it.
I have 2 illustrations here that look like maps.
Yeah, so the map is at the beginning. It's 2 halves of the map.
Yes, I do have both of those illustrations. And I can pull those up.
And
right
then if you scroll down in the prologue a couple pages, you should be able to see the first interior art piece.
All right, there it is. With the sun and the
sword.
Yep. Okay. Yes, I have it right here. Awesome.
Yeah, there it is.
Yep. That looks absolutely incredible. That's Neutron Bohr's work?
Yeah, so he did all the interior pieces as well.
That's so good. Yeah, oh my God. Yeah. That is serene. If I had to describe that picture in an emotion, I would say it's serene. It's a calming. I don't know. That's really, really cool. God, even in black and white, that's so freaking cool.
Yeah. Yeah, and I have to shout him out more. Just, you guys see the finished product. You guys don't see how much work he had to do to get all these pieces of art to their finished versions, and how much like adjusting we had to do throughout the process. So he did a lot of work on this book.
That's insane.
Good man. I work with.
I'm surprised we're still friends after all the.
One to the same thing sometimes. I work with a lot of the artists, and the conversations we have, I wonder sometimes when they're like, "I'm done with you. Stop talking."
Actually, so I do remember the first version of this piece of art. I gave him a sword reference. And I didn't communicate clearly that like there's only certain parts of the sword that I was trying to get him to draw, and he thought I wanted the whole sword to look just like it. So he drew out the whole piece with the sword.
Oh God!
Showed it to me, and I was like, "Oh man!" And I had to tell him we got to redo like the whole thing pretty much.
Oh no!
So he was a little annoyed about that, but we eventually got it figured out.
Yep. Oh no!
Be as clear as you possibly can.
Yeah, and I actually, after working on this book, because of how many art pieces we did, I'm way better at working with him now than when we started. We're way more on the same page.
Well, that's a good thing.
Awesome. Yeah, don't be like me.
Yeah. It's helped me a lot too with like other artist commissions, like to know, okay, I need to make sure I tell them like these things, these details before they draw anything, so that I don't make them do a bunch of extra work and piss them off.
Unless you're willing to throw caution to the wind, like I am. Be clear. Literally, that Cheese and I poster that I did for the book signing with an artist named Kenny David. I literally said to him, pick a scene in the book. Here's a copy of it. Pick a scene in the book and just draw it for me, and let's see what you come up with. And that's all I said. And then I walked away from it after paying him and let him do it. Yeah, weeks later, he just sends me the sketch of that picture, and I'm like, I'm going to keep working with this dude forever because this is awesome. It's amazing. But don't be like me.
Don't be like... I made the right decision, ladies and gentlemen. Don't be like me. Make all the wrong decisions.
Hey, man, it was a total crapshoot. I could have gotten back a bunch of stick figures and crayon. Who knows?
That would have been my art. Now I need to do stick figure art of. That's what I need to do. I need to do a stick figure flash animation of Iron Age Knights.
There we go.
That would be great.
Royce's project after he's finished with the smoker completely.
No, I actually already signed up for another project. Richard knows. He drafted me.
Foreshadowing. Right.
Yeah, foreshadowing. Why would I say that?
Totally not intentional.
No, not intentional at all. That's another shirt that I need to make. Foreshadowing. Why would I say that? She's like, what the fuck? So many things I need to put on a t-shirt. Well, I will say this. So, Timo, goddamn, it's so hard. You've let me say it. Wrong. You could have called me out in the chat at any time and you didn't. You're just like, nope, I'm going to wait until I'm on Iron Age Days. So, Timo, so I will say this. So for this evening, I have a lot that I have to get prepped for tomorrow for the smoker and whatnot. And there are some super chats that have absolutely rolled in. Yes. And I would very, very much like to get to the super chats a little early this evening, a little earlier than normal. And that, again, it's just I have things that I have to get ready. I'm also fairly certain Richard's going to die.
Yeah, I'm probably going to pass out here.
He is getting whiter and whiter.
I was going to say, like, he's like way white. Like, he is.
Yeah, I know. I don't know what's. I don't know. If
I mean, like, if white is bad on the planet, like, that's bad. Like, that's.
Not eating. Eating for a couple days, that kind of thing.
Well, yeah. So, Timo,
if we start seeing his hair turning white, then we know there's a problem.
It's okay. If he starts foaming at the mouth, ladies and gentlemen, it's fine. It's fine. It's Iron Age.
I start glowing blue.
Just cut the feed.
Timo, tell us where we can find your books and stuff, and we'll get to the super chats and engage with the audience and let them ask you some questions for a little bit.
Yeah, you can find them on Amazon. You search the names of the books, Dawn of the Black Sun or Black Saint or my name. It should pull up the books as well. Timo Burnham.
Yeah,
which is Timo.
Yes.
And you can, if you want, you can follow me on Amazon. There's like a follow button on the author page.
Yes, there is.
I am also sharing all of those links as well down in the chat. So if people would like to find your books, they are more than welcome to. We've got all that going on. There we go.
And you can follow me on Twitter too. And mine's I think it's Timo Burnham on both. Just TIMOBURNHAM.
Yeah, I will be sharing your Twitter link right there. X, Twitter. I want to call it Twix from now on. Somebody said Twix the other day, and I'm like, that just makes sense. It's Twix.
I'm going the Prince route, calling it the platform formerly known as Twitter.
Oh God, that's great. All right, Wrangler over on YouTube quite earlier for 420 says Bruner Battlehammer was the best.
He was pretty good.
Well, okay, what am I missing out? All right, you know things that I don't know. What do you know?
From the Tristo Erden series.
Yeah, he's the dwarf. He's kind of like, I can't remember if he's more of like a father figure. I think he was kind of like a father figure to Drizzt, like adopted father.
Kind of more like Brunner kind of worked as the sage character in a strange way. He had that down to earth stuff that that's interesting. Had a down to earth mentality that Drizzt didn't have.
Yeah.
Oh God. Sorry guys, I was preoccupied laughing at the tweet. I also don't know the thing that you're talking about because I'm an uneducated. It's
I've read some R.A. Salvatore, but not that series.
I have heard of people reading R.A. Salvatore.
Yeah, it's just awesome dwarf warrior. That's all.
There you go. Kikamon for $100. Which is, I'm sorry, Kikamon for $100. Kikamon, what the hell is even that?
Whatever it is, you have to read it.
Right, I do. He says, show me, show you. Kikomon, sorry, Canadian. Been too busy, can't stick around for too long. Hail, ADWC, hail, Iron Age, hail, Timo. Hope you are all doing well. Gonna be gone for the next 2 months.
Wow.
With my trip, woo, to the land of the rising, Kikomon.
Good luck, sir.
Oh, good Lord.
Enjoy yourself.
Absolutely. That's going to be fantastic, man. I hope you have a great time. Brian McCoppin, use a member chat. He's been a member of the YouTube channel for 8 months. What's going on, McCoppin? Also known as Future Daniel. Everyone go and leave a review on Timo's book. Yes, go do that. And if you guys are like, well, we don't know where to find Timo's book. It's fine, guys. I have the link. The link is right here. It's in the chat. And you guys are probably seeing that link before you hear me say this because, delay on YouTube, and that's how it is.
True.
But yeah, no, absolutely go check out Timo's awesome book. Go do it. Kikomon for $5 says, my favorite joke for the newer folks. Oh, God. I have to read it again. So for those of you who are new here, this is Kikomon's favorite joke to share with you. What's the difference between a gay guy and a fridge? A fridge doesn't fart when you pull your meat out. I can't not every time. I try so hard. Kikomon for $5 says Timo's hat is an XXXL Yamika Kippa, Jewish god of thunder and shekels. What the fuck? Timo, do you have a comment for that? Or
I think
just
Kikomon was hitting the soy sauce a little too hard.
My comment is that is a quality super chat.
Good answer.
Oh, God. Kikomon for $5. For honest reviews, I would recommend the 2479 system. 2 equals poor, 4 equals below average, 7 equals above average, 9 exceptional. Do that for close friends. My review system is buy or don't buy. Simple. Would I spend my hard-earned money on this thing? Let's say I buy a book. Well, I'm taking a chance on it. At the end of it is, okay, after knowing what I know now, would I buy the book again? My answer could be yes or no. That's simple. The rating system, I understand a lot of places like to do the star system and things like that. If I ever give a rating on anything, it is, would I spend my money on this thing again? Right? Because hindsight's always 20/20. And my hard-earned dollars. It's like, look, all right, I already done goofed once. Would I do it again? Yeah, a lot of the stuff I've checked out, I would absolutely. I don't know. What do you guys think? Is that too shallow of a system, or
if it works for you, it works for you.
I was going to say, I don't think there's no rules. You don't have to overcomplicate it.
I think I
just maintain consistency in it. You know what I mean?
I rate books basically always 4 or 5 stars because if I don't like it, I don't finish the book. So if I finish the book, I'm rating it a 4 or a 5.
Hey, that's fair. That's actually really fair. Katie from Periopsis Press does that. Everybody's like, well, but do you give better? And she's like, look, I only put out reviews of the books that I like. She's like, if I read a book and I don't like it, I'm not going to review it. She's like, and I highly respect her for that. Huh?
Why waste the time?
Yeah. No, and I love Katie for that. I think it's hugely respectable that she does that.
I mean, if I was trying to be a book reviewer, I would probably finish books I didn't really enjoy, but I am not trying to be a book reviewer. So
no, she finishes the books that she doesn't enjoy, but she will not put a review up on her page for books that she didn't enjoy. So only the books that she enjoys get the reviews. Which I actually like that system. It's like, why tell other people, well, I didn't like this book? And it's kind of, and I asked myself that question. I was like, what does that solve either? Like what problem in the market does that solve to as a semi-professional or an amateur, reviewer, what problem does that solve to go out and put a bad review?
Honest one, it's buyer beware.
Yeah.
I mean, I definitely like Katie's system, but I can see if you're a professional reviewer, like, there's people, they want to know your opinion. So if you read a book and you didn't like it, I can see like how that's useful. Like you say, like, look, I do think, it's not great to be like, you read the book and you're like, this book is terrible, don't read it. Like, that's not really useful. What you want to say is like, here's the things I didn't like about the book, and this is why I didn't like it very much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that there's definitely value in critiques. You know what I mean? But I think that their
feedback is appreciated.
Yeah, I think that there needs to be a bit of a differentiation, right? And it's one of these things where I think, especially in the past, 10 years or so, there's been a real trend of not so much with books necessarily, but certainly with video games and movies and TV shows. And whether or not people say that this influences them, I'm positive that it does. That there's been a lot of theater and attention to people setting things up and knocking them down. Mm-hmm. And don't get me wrong, I think that a lot of these things deserve to be knocked down. I think we all agree with that, with Friday Night Tights and everything else. But then you also have people, I notice it particularly with video games, people like it's the one guy at The Escapist who, like anybody ever actually went to The Escapist for, Yahtzee.
Zero punctuation?
Yeah, Zero Punctuation, the fast talking guy. His whole shtick was, I'm going to insult this game. And, that's fine. It's a gimmick. You know what I mean? Like, that's your gimmick. That's fine. But I think a lot of people didn't necessarily have the realization whenever they're doing reviews and critiques and all these other things that this person has a gimmick. It is a gimmick. Mm-hmm. It is their thing. They're good at it. You know what I mean? And like they have an audience that is built around disliking things, like, do you want to do that? Is that necessarily the audience you want to cultivate? Is that the best way to approach things? I don't know. I think that, like I said, I think there's a place for critique, certainly. and all sorts of different reviews, but you just got to pay attention to why you're doing things. And I think sometimes people just do things
That's why I
out of
said an earnest
reflexive imitation.
The thing that I have done with just a couple of the reviews that I've done on the channel and things that I've really thought about and how I would do reviews, because I have people reaching out to me and wanting to send me review copies of their books and their comics and stuff like that. And I realize, and some people, it's just like, hey, we want to say thank you, for hosting us on your show. Like, here's a book, and I'm like, and I had this rule that was like, well, if somebody gave me a copy of something, I wasn't going to review. But if somebody's like, hey, as a thank you for shouting us out or retweeting us or whatever, we'd like to send this to you as a review copy, I'm like, okay. And I look at it this way. I'm a fairly positive person. And I believe in highlighting the positives of whatever I'm reading that I like. However, I will not shy away from the things that I don't like. I will lean on more of the positives, but I will make sure. And if you guys have ever seen me, like if you guys saw my most recent review of ISOM 2, I said that for the most part, ISOM number 2, I really enjoyed. Had some dialogue issues, right? Definitely had some dialogue issues, but it was a vast improvement over the first book. And that's just the most recent one that I've done that comes to mind. But that's really where I am as a reviewer. If I genuinely didn't like something and just could not get through it, I don't think that I would review it, because I don't think that adds to the larger conversation. I might reach out to the author privately if it was something that was sent to me, or it was something that, like, I know that author is on my channel, and I might talk with them privately about it. But to put it out there in a public review, just to bash on, or to do a review that would be so heavy-handed, it would almost come across as bashing on someone, I don't feel that that's professional. I would much rather reach out to them in private and say, okay, I will not review this publicly because I have very strong feelings about this. And here are the strong feelings that I have about what you wrote. And here's what I think that you could fix. And for me, I'm like, if it's like a 60% positive for me, then that's a good thing. I can point out the 60% positive, and I can also point out the 40% negative. And I feel like that's a good thing. If it's a 60% negative, I don't think that I would review it publicly. And maybe
it depends on the medium. For you doing videos, yes, that makes perfect sense. For platform comment review, like with Amazon, the function of the review is to let everybody know when a product is, in your opinion, subpar and why.
Well, I was commenting on what Richard was saying about the whole that's kind of how internet has changed reviews.
That's why I'm drawing a distinction between the two.
Yeah, so there is being a personality on the internet doing a review, and then there is being a consumer on the internet doing a review.
Yep.
And if I understand what everybody's saying, we need to draw that line.
Yes.
Okay. I agree. I 100% agree. Yeah. I think, no. Yeah, consumers need to have a very different line than internet personalities, which I'm rapidly turning into, and I regret my life decisions.
Kikomon made a good point, too, about, like, reviewers. Like, if there's a reviewer that you watch and you have, like, the same taste as them, then if they give you a, like if they say, I didn't like this book for these reasons, then like, I probably won't either because I have the same taste as this person.
Yeah.
Which is the function of consumer review.
I think that's when a negative review can be helpful.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Well, I think tastemakers are, I think I've said before that tastemakers and things like that are valuable. And
if they're earnest about it.
Yes.
Well, yeah, but people offload decision making all the time. It's fine, and it's a necessary part of life. So it's just one of those things where you want to have a ecosystem of people who, there's enough different people looking at things that you can find somebody who has a decision a system of making decisions that resembles yours,
Yep.
and then you can just kind of offload and be like, all right, well, I don't actually have to do a deep dive into all of this. I can just kind of go to them and they can then feed me content later on. Now, mind you, of course, that gets risky over time. You know what I mean? But that's how a lot of the internet works these days.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Yeah. Also, these days, a lot of reviewing is just marketing for the person who launched their book, which I'm not saying that's bad, but it like if you launch a book and you can send the book out to like 10 different people who all have like decent sized channels and they all make a video reviewing it,
yep.
you're going to get way more sales than otherwise.
Yep.
Even if some of them give it like less than, glowing reviews.
Mhm.
I feel like the a-hole in the room because I'm like, if anybody sends me anything, like I will find something wrong with the thing and I will mention it. And it's not that I will find it, it's that as I'm reading it or going through it or whatever, something will go, oh, that's weird. And usually those are the things that I'm just like, okay, that's weird. Why that didn't quite make sense. And those are usually like the issues. It's like that thing didn't quite fit. And that's how I kind of review things because, well, again, as I've said on the channel, I didn't do a lot of reading when I was younger because it was made as a chore for me. I know a lot of people that used reading as an escape. I wish I could have had escaped from reading, like when I was a kid. I'm being dead serious. Like, it was always a chore for me. I was always told to read, and then the TV was playing in the next room, and mom and dad were laughing along with whatever show or watching whatever show, and it was not that that is the that's one of the critiques I had of my parents. It's like, well, hey, if you guys wanted me to read, maybe turn the TV off and you guys pick up a book and read with me. And often, and actually my mom did that with me a few times. My dad is a little different, But so for me, when it comes to this world, I'm just in a totally different space than all of you guys who have probably have, many, many millions of words more than I have ever read. So I've got a little catching up to do, as it were.
That does give you kind of a, you get your own perspective. Like if you read a fantasy book that for other people, they'll be like, man, this was just so it's a ripoff of like all the other fantasy books. It's like all the same stuff, same tropes. And they'll be like, I don't recommend it. But for you, who hasn't read a lot, like you might be like, man, I really like this story. I like the dragon and the knight, and it was all great.
Yeah.
Awesome. Like, so it's, you get a different perspective by being fresh.
And that's what's really cool too, is that I think that my perspective could almost be childlike in that I haven't experienced certain storytelling styles before. Not that I haven't necessarily, because I still, like, again, I read when I was a kid. I've read a lot of the classic stories and stuff like that. I know a lot of the classic story tropes. I was made to, English class, know the various different types of storytelling. Can't tell you what those are now. Know the various different types of the hero archetype, which I believe there are 9 different types of hero archetype. Anyway, but yeah. So I went through all that stuff. But for me, when I'm reading something, it really has my one criteria for reading and giving a good review. If you can make me forget that I'm reading something, you are an instant win in my book. One of the books that did that, and people might have issues with it because it's not entirely historically accurate, and it's
Can I interrupt you real quick?
Go for it.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm about to fade out here. I got to go, guys. I'm out of it. So, thank you for, I don't know, listening to me. I can't even do a proper outro. I'm so tired. AnimalMagazine.com. We cracked 5K this week. Exciting. Timo, keep talking. You know, don't let Royce get you down.
I'm not. Why? No. You can't do that to me.
Night, Richard.
No, you sit your ass. That son of a bitch.
Man,
Woo! Attaboy, Richard.
John wants to replace him.
I'll take his place. John, we're only going to be on for another few more minutes. Daniel, would you like for the next, I don't know, 5 or 10 minutes or so, because I am fading fast and I have food that I have to prep for tomorrow and things that I have to get. Timo, would you like to have John on for the next at least a couple of minutes to take Richard's place?
It's fine with me.
Well,
yeah,
if you look
you
at
wanna do
our
that.
private chat, I also actually brought a test run shill to just play for everybody.
Test run show. Well, do me. What private chat? The Gilded private chat?
No, the StreamYard private chat. The one that you don't pay attention to.
No.
Because Richard was saying, like...
Oh, no. You guys, like... I know. I'm aware. I legit... I do not pay attention. I have super chats up here that I still have to read. I've got a $50 one and a $5 one. I've got John A. Douglas. Like, I'll join John. I'm sending you the invite. So I will send that over to you over on Gilded because why talk on any other platform? I have a bunch of people like, where's the best place to reach you? Gilded? I'm not on Gilded. Get on Gilded.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
I know you have multiple chats and multiple things that you're looking at, and I'm still going to call you out. When
I know, because you're gay.
Life is hard for Royce.
Life's very hard for Roy.
It's not hard. It's confusing when you're tired, though. John A. Douglas. There we go. All right, John, if you would like to come on for the last few minutes of the show, come on, John. So, no drama, John.
Always drama, John.
No, don't drama, John. He does always drama, John. All right, so what am I like? Is it this Rumble link that you did here? Is it the Rumble link? Is it that thing?
Yes.
Oh, well, we'll pull up the... Ooh, I wonder how StreamYard and Rumble are going to play together. Ooh.
Yeah, that'll be...
Because, like, StreamYard and Fund My Comic do not play well together at all.
Yep.
Ooh,
experiment for science!
Science! Silence for science.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, can you last a little longer next time?
What do you mean?
John,
that's what
you
she
get
said.
Welcome to the stream, John.
Thank you. I may or may not be wearing pants.
You got me involved in a Twitter thing, and I hate you for. Actually, I think the Lord Otter did, but yeah, I don't even care.
I've been avoiding the Twitter drama as much as possible, but John and I talked about it a little bit.
I also avoided the Twitter drama, and then I invited somebody on my stream on Tuesday night.
Yeah, good luck with all that. And he was a follower of mine. I had to get rid of my.
Hey, stop! We're not going to do that now. Not going to do that. Here's a rule of my channel. Somebody that I have invited onto the stream is somebody I have invited on the channel. I have done it honestly. I am not being disingenuous about it. I will not allow trash talk about this person. I don't care how they are. I don't care what the history is. I'll bring them on. We'll talk, and you're going to see a very, very different side of A Drink with Crazy, a side that you haven't seen ever for those of you who know me. So it's going to be again, conversation. I've described it this way. Everybody is a gyroscope, right? And every ring of the gyroscope is a different part of your personality. Well, that doesn't mean that everybody has seen every ring of my personality. So
hair looks good, by the way.
Dun, dun.
yeah, well, not quite. It's still irritating me. I took the clippers to it a little cavalier, but that's what you get when you cut your own damn hair.
It is what it is. Nature's doing it for me right now. So.
All right. Oh, that's not good. That's not
It looks
good at
good
all.
if you like the Backstreet Boys.
Why you say that, but my daughters.
Oh.
I turn on the Dad, turn on I Want It That Way. No, I don't want it. Me 5 minutes. Tell me why. And my daughters are sitting there singing it with me.
That era, we survived that era. That was just that was something else.
Dude, I don't hate it. I really don't. I mean, depending on the mood that dude, that was smack dab. Like, I was smack dab. Like, that was my generation. That all that stuff was, the Britney Spears, NSYNC, Backstreet Boys, all that stuff. I was right there. I mean, dude, I was born in '91. All of that stuff was targeted at, like, right at my generation. So,
Brittany's a hometown girl, by the way. She's from down
the
in my
fuck
state.
she is.
Never
mind.
No, I'm saying she's from down in my
Meant
state.
that literally, not figuratively.
Oh, okay. Okay.
She's
sorry.
She's you see kind of how she is behind the scenes. You can take the trash out the trailer park. That's all I'll say. But
Run.
oh, Kikomon for $50 says Neutron Boar is fantastic. The only guy I met in person from this community. Please check him out. Great guy and artist. Yes. And he shared, I actually can't copy the Facebook link. Kikomon, you're a mod on the channel. You can share that link down in the chat. Please share the Facebook link for Neutron Boar. I am working my ass off to try to gather at least the Midwest folk together. If the smoker thing goes well, I am just going to put like a call out to people who are kind of in the Midwest and close and be like, hey guys, let's do a Labor Day Iron Age barbecue. I'm like seriously considering it. And if you guys are within a few hours and you're a part of the community, I want you to show up. That's where I'm at. I want to cook for the people who have made this community, and I want to say thank you to the peoples.
Sounds like a plan.
That's where I'm at. I don't know if it'll work. And everybody's like, that's really short notice. I'm like, well, yeah, welcome to my life. God tapped me on the shoulder and said, hey, I want you to build a community yesterday. And I'm like, what? So, welcome to my life. Welcome to my life. That was a little off. Name the band.
No.
I gotta admit, I kind of noped out of just even trying to find new music. By the time the late '90s got around, I'm happy with my classic '80s rock and whatever played on MTV in the '80s to '90s. And I'm sorry,
I am to the point anymore where I cannot fucking stand '80s rock anymore. It has been so over fucking played, and people are like, "Oh my gosh!" I'm like, "Shut the fuck up!" I'm like, I genuinely cannot fucking stand it. Like, my favorite genre, like eras of music at this point are turning into like 50s music because nobody fucking talks about it. And like the early 2000s when I grew up. I cannot freaking stand 80s music anymore. How can you not stand it? Because it never shuts the fuck up. It's like me, but in music, it never shuts up.
We've got a classic rock station down here, 98.1, and they have been the same classic rock station for the last 35 years, right? Even they have gotten to this point where, okay, adding 2000s rock doesn't quite fit. They're starting to go back into older classic rock albums and play like the B tracks and the lesser known hits just because they have, kind of exhausted through that. As much as I love that music, yeah, my dad's the same way. He's like, I've been listening to this so long. He started listening to like heavy metal, raging, screaming, death metal shit. It was just to have something different.
Yeah, and like I said, I just, growing up, I really loved a lot. Well, I actually, growing up, I loved pretty much everything kind of the way that I always have. And here's the thing is I say, I'm kind of tired of hearing it, but I listen to a variety of everything. My mom listened to country. My dad listened to classic rock. My two older sisters listened to hip hop and R&B. My one older brother listened to a lot of like alternative rock, which at that time it would have been Matchbox 20, the Goo Goo Dolls, bands like the Everclear, bands like that. My other brother listened to a lot of like gangster rap and like heavier metal, which would have been like, guys like Tupac and like System of a Down, just to give a couple of examples. And I am the baby of the family. Like there's 8 years between me and my brother up from me, right? So I got to ride in all of their cars and have no control over the radio. And then I also grew up with, the early 2000s rock. You had, bands really hitting it big. Hinder, Buckcherry, Nickelback was in there. Three Doors Down was in there. Linkin Park was in there. Shinedown, Hailstorm came a little later. I literally just have I got into classical music when I was really, really young. Like there was a classical station that I would just listen to because I was getting into music at the time. So I literally just listen to everything. But like everybody with all this 80s music stuff, I'm just like, there's so much more out there. And like, but have you heard it? Yes, everyone has. We've all heard it. It's been played 5,000 times. You know why I know that? Because it's their most popular song. Do you know have you listened to their other albums? Do you know that album at all? No, I just know this song. I know! Everybody only knows that song. I'm sorry.
This has been a rant with a drink with Crazy.
I haven't had a good one in a while. I'm sorry. It just bothers me. Do you know this song? Yes. Yeah. It's like when Don't Stop Believing by Journey became popular again. But you guys all remember that about 7-8 years ago. And that song was Glee, the television show. And it was everywhere. And it wouldn't stop fucking playing. And I'm like, and it's a good song. That's a really good song. And I am fucking tired of it. Like, oh my God. Sorry.
We got any more?
Generally speaking, my least favorite artist and musician of all time is someone everybody else loves.
Who?
Eminem. Hate him.
I don't love him. I like a lot
of music. I don't like him as a person. I don't like him as a musician. I don't like him as an artist. Anytime I hear his fucking music come out of something, I want to violently throw something at the source that is causing this music in my ears. I can't stand him. It doesn't help that he's a shitty person on top of it.
Well, no, him being a shitty person is one thing. I like his early shit. Right. I like his early
Timo,
shit.
would you like to take a turn at ranting?
I got to think of something to rant about.
What's your favorite one-star review of one of your works? One that actually made you laugh? All authors got one.
I don't know if I have any one-star reviews. You could leave me one, and then I can rant about it.
I was gonna go to Amazon and do it, and I was like, no, I was just gonna be like, this has been your 1-star review. That's all.
Weston got 1 3-star, but I think it was just a rating. They didn't leave a review, so I don't know why they didn't like it.
If I was going to do that, it would be something retarded, like I'd do 1-star review and just put your book smells funny.
Who was it? Brian Asher. I think he got a 1-star from someone, and they said like
they found out he was married.
Is like right-wing extremist or something.
What the Brian?
So I would like a review like that at some point, a 1-star review.
That'd be great.
My favorite 1-star review that I've seen for anyone is my friend who writes weird Western novels, Ryan Williamson. He got a review, and 1-star review, and it said it could have been epic. And I'm sitting there thinking, like, I want to leave a reply that says, which part was not epic? Was it the Buffalo Soldiers that were driving the steampunk battle tanks? Was it the undead horde? Was it the vampire fighting ninja nun? What was not epic about this? This incidentally, this is an epic book.
I got you, Daniel. You son of a bitch. I got you.
Yeah, you did.
The idea that somebody read this and thought there was nothing epic in it, that was a very disingenuous 1-star review, but funny. And he and I both laugh about it.
Maji-chan for $5 says, popping in like a boss. Hello to Timo, King Richard, and Inquisitor Riley. Oh, that's a name. Can't wait to catch the replay. Oh, right. I should say hi to the Wake. Hi, Wake. Wow.
Inquisitor. That's interesting.
Inquisitor Riley. Sophisticated, murderous. All of the above. Maji-chan for $2 says, love the trailer, Daniel. Hi, John A. Douglas. Hi, John.
Finally, some feedback.
See. I don't leave Daniel feedback. I just tell him he sucks for not shilling. He's like, well...
He tells me I suck for not chilling, and then I ask him to play a video and give me feedback. He plays the video and then doesn't give me any feedback.
It's intentional. There's ways that you can play mental warfare with your co-hosts, ladies and gentlemen.
It happens.
Take notes.
Get long.
Take notes. Geek 'em on for $5. Who's in favor for the end the stream with Mr. Crinkle as the end of the video? Say yes after this message. If so, LOL. What? Come on, I'm not saying yes to... I'm not saying yes to anything.
I think the MSG is strangling his brain.
Okay, Kikomon, in a super chat, if you share a link, I actually can't click it. So, but Kikomon for $20 gets the 20-second applause that is far too long. Use this as your closing video. Listen to the song after 5 to 10 years. Woo! Let's see if I can.
Talking about.
Oh god. Oh god. No, that will absolutely get me copyright stricken. I know who this is. Kikomon, I actually can't play that. That will actually get me a copyright strike. I know who that band is. I fucking love that band. God, I love that band. It's a Primus song. It's Mr. Crinkle from Primus. God, I love Primus. They're so fucking good. Oh. I wish I could, but if I play it, it copyright strikes this channel. Oh, God. Especially being that it's Primus. Kikomon. Why do you do this to me, Kikomon? Really, hey. Kikomon's like, hey, I want to experience this thing with you. And I'm like, yeah, what is it? And Kikomon's like, this thing. And I'm like, that's going to get me nuked. God, I love Primus. I still remember my name is Mud. It's so good.
Everybody remembers that song.
What was what is God, it's it's the song. It's like Jerry was a race car driver, drove so goddamn fast. What is that? God,
don't look at me. Like I said,
was it Tony Hawk's Pro Skater? Or was it 1 or 2? I can't remember if it was 1 or I think it was Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1.
Might have been
that Primus was in. Oh my God, Kikomon! I wish I could play that song because it's really good. It's really
reaching
really good.
Too far back from my old brain.
I know. It does. It does that. It does those things. Well, I will say this. I would very, very, very much like to give one more, as I like to call them, shills, but I guess everybody else calls them promotions, to Timo Burnham. Timo, I'm calling you Timo. I can't stop. I'm trying so hard. It's so hard not to.
Okay, I did it too by accident.
You're batting about like 50 right now.
I mean, you could be nicer than that. You could leave a good review. Timo, where can we find you, good sir?
My review of Royce's calling my name is he tries.
1-star review. He keeps saying my name wrong.
But not on purpose.
It just sounds...
Just think of it like this. So my name is Timothy. That's my actual name. Just everyone calls me Timo. So just say the first part of my name, first part of Timothy.
But it's Timo. It's Timo Burnham. Timo.
Timo is the League of Legends character.
What genuinely, phonetically, what sounds better? Go Timo or Timo. What sounds better? As I scream it, ladies and gentlemen.
Right.
The Timo sounds normal because that's my name. That's what everyone has called me for, more than 30 years. So that one sounds better to me.
Damn it!
Hey, Royce.
What?
Some call him Tim. Oh.
Also, before I forget,
I understood that reference.
I want to shout out Squishy Banana Productions. He's a friend, but you should definitely
down
have
in
him
the
on.
chat.
Yeah, I think he's not there. I think he had stuff to do, but he was there. But yeah, so he's making a game, like a dark fantasy, like third-person action game, video game. So you should definitely have him on to talk about that and let him show you stuff. He's making the entire thing himself, building every single asset himself from hand.
Wow.
A whole bunch of work.
Whoa, that's a lot of work.
Yeah, it is.
Awesome. Well,
you should definitely have him on at some point.
No, I'm gonna have to. Well, I guess moving on to my surprise co-host this evening, John A. Douglas. Good sir. Do you have any links or shills that you'd like to drop down in the chat? You can drop them in the private chat. I'll make sure that they get to the people.
I will see if I can do that.
You're not even you're like, hey, let me on the stream. I let you on the stream. You're not even fucking prepared. What the hell?
No, I was actually like cutting my medicine in half when I was my blood pressure medicine. I was sitting there chopping it up because of my insurance. Because I'm an old fogey, I can get approved for like a 40 milligram pill, and then I got to chop it in half and take one in the morning, one at night, because they won't give me 20 milligram pills, or at least not in the number that I'm prescribed.
I am glad that I am so far away from that in my life. Like,
no, you're also not a fat fuck like I am. So
I should be with the way that I act. Well, I attribute that to avoiding the sugar. Like
probably. When I was growing up, I ate very frugally, like for a long time. It was once upon a time like $40 was my weekly grocery budget for me and my wife. Like,
ooh,
them 99-cent bottles of soda at Winn-Dixie looked really appealing. It's like, hey,
I've been there.
Hamburger Helper 3-4 days out of the week. It is what it is.
No. I will say this: Hamburger Helper. If that's what you can afford, Hamburger Helper and a couple pounds of ground beef will get you through a week. And I know because I fed a family of 6 on it when I had to.
Okay, I think I dropped my channel link in the chat. I'm at $8.97 right now.
Where is your channel link? In the private chat? Don't drop it in the YouTube chat. You're not a mod. No. You can't do that.
Oh, shit. I'm not a mod.
You've got to put it in the private chat.
Okay.
Make Royce do it.
It's fine. It's fine. You can wait till later. It's not a big deal. I just jumped on to say hey, help you close out the show. I'm pretty sure everybody here that wants to follow me already follows me anyway.
True.
Maybe. Wow. Just that cold shoulder from Daniel Riley. Oh my God.
That's why he gets the armchair.
Yeah, I'm feeling the Inquisitor name.
I've been struck by a smooth criminal.
You've been struck by a smooth criminal. I feel like I ruined it there at the end. I really love that beat. It's good. It's a
good beat.
It's fine. It is a really good beat, dude. That bass line is epic. All right. Mr. Daniel P. Riley. Good, sir.
Hi. Hey, I did my video. My daughter and I
all right.
so I don't have to shill. You know how this works.
Ladies and gentlemen, the man who would like to reach into the depths of your brain through whatever orifice is necessary to do that, and he will pull out that story and put it onto the page as long as you are there to help cultivate it. Ladies and gentlemen, go check out Mr. Daniel P. Riley over at whimsyland.org, where he will help you realize your story to the pages that you want to realize them to.
And then I clean them up.
Well, yeah, you just reach through people's orifices. You're going to need to clean them up.
Yep.
Editors help you make them better writers.
Voluntary or involuntary, it doesn't matter.
Yes, all of those
Pull the
things.
story out of you.
Yeah, he'll just, I mean, just get right up in there, grab, and yeah, it's a thing. It's how it
Follow me
works.
on Twitter at Mr. DP Riley. Don't listen to Royce.
Why not? Why not listen to me, ladies, gentlemen?
I don't want to put my hand in any orifices. Thank you.
Then why do you do it?
I don't.
That's what you say.
It is what I said.
Oh my god. Oh.
I work with words. Thank you.
You work. It sounds like you work with more than that.
Brains, maybe.
Timo, John, you guys were here. Like, you heard he works more within just words, right? Like, you heard that? That wasn't just me, right? No?
For a cut, I'll say I heard it.
Yeah, there you go. You son of a bitch.
Their silence is damning.
We'll make it happen. I'll make it happen, John. It's not going to be a big cut, but I'll make it happen. Just say yes to it. Oh, God. Ladies and gentlemen. Right. He didn't define his terms. Ladies and gentlemen, legal contracts are binding. And for all of you, thank you all so much for being here. A lot of familiar names in the chat. A lot of people who have been out there supporting this channel for a long time. And I mean this very sincerely. Thank you all so much for being here on Iron Age Nights. And I will see you all on Sunday for Sunday Coffee at 11 a.m. Central. Cheers, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Good
Holla, holla.